Hi everyone, my name is Nicholas Rivas, and I talk about politics and stuff. And today, I'm going to be talking about a few things. I was recently inspired by making a video in regards to homeless people. Where do they go? Seriously, where the fuck do they go? I've been sitting here trying to figure out where the fuck I would be if I was homeless. I was doing videos, helping my cousin, and there was this tunnel we found, and we always used to call them the homeless tunnels. So we went there, we got some shots, saw some remnants of people, thought, damn, motherfuckers like this just sleep here. What you have to do in this hot ass town? You see comfort here in this tunnel that's used for a washway of, in rain and stuff. So it's that it? You just go there? I know they're homeless shelters, but it doesn't seem like it could have the capacity to run or be efficient to cover everyone. I've always had this conversation with a multitude of people, family, friends, and a big spark of this video was I got in an argument with a good friend of mine, and they were saying some really fucked up shit. And we were just going back and forth, arguing, annoying each other on the topic of homeless people. Talking to someone, I asked, where do they go? And they couldn't answer me. I legitimately asked, where do they go? Do you know where they go? The shelters. Well, can't cover everyone, right? Well, then that's too fucking bad. That's usually the answer I got, which is unfortunate. And that's very human of us to, we have things to do in our lives. Who gives a shit? But it's a crisis. That started getting me thinking about other things. That started hitting me with a bunch of topics. Because in that conversation, that person hit me with, what should we do? My fucking books, Stop fighting. Make some coffee.
I'm a little bit negative, a little bit positive, a little bit crazy with this shit that I'm about to get. About to make another hit, about to make some stupid shit, about to make some
when you
good
drive to Austin, you're like, I feel like I've been thinking about this topic a lot. When I came from Austin, I was writing a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. And what was hitting me was just give them houses. Why? Why can't we just give homeless people houses? Why? Why? Is it a moral reason? Is it a financial reason? Because morally, it sounds right. Just give people places to stay. Financially, it makes sense in the long term because the cost of people on the streets causing a ruckus brings more problems financially than just giving them houses per this, that. So, why not give them houses? Why? The reason I've been wanting to make this video was because, like many of the problems in this world, in my country of the US of A, it's interconnected. And it's been a topic that's been eating at me because there's not a simple fix. It's not perfect either. Oh, so when you drive to Austin, you're like, I feel like the names. makes sense. We need to give people houses. But there's this stigma that comes with giving people stuff, is that it incentivizes a dependency on our government. But with that in mind, the opposite is that we do nothing and they should be prosperous. And in reality, we don't give our homeless, or we don't have much of a social safety net, to the point where, if it is true that people are incentivized to rise and grind and get the house themselves, it's not working, because people would have it by now. We have a pretty lackluster social security already. So there should just be people rising and grinding, getting those houses. And to be fair, the homeless population isn't that high compared to other countries. But like I said prior, there's multiple studies that prove that housing people is better in the long term, and it affects a multitude of issues. It decreases crime. There's just a more beneficial. People truly believe that giving people houses will not work, and I get it, because we've never seen it. We've never had a system to compare it to. But it does work if the end goal is to lower crime rates, to get people to get jobs and have a sustainable life, is to give them houses, because one of the factors of having a hard life is not being able to go to a home, going to a place and resting. Having that comfort and safety, a roof over your head, will help you in other fields, help you get a job, help you get your education, and better your life. If you don't have that, if one factor is missing, psychologically speaking, you fail. But people don't care, because I worked hard for my house. Why must they just get one?
I feel like my experience with
and people become very proud of what they've earned, and that makes sense. It's a hard thing to work at. But true.
You just never know what's gonna happen.
And these guys are. But if the conversation is, I want to lower the crime rate, I want to solve homelessness, the solution is there. Not perfect. People will leech. People will always find a place. But if our only system right now is to go find a homeless shelter and then hopefully one day save up to get a mortgage or enough income to accumulate maybe a mortgage that you can pay consistently, our system is not favorable to that. I got paranoid too, because that guy who talked to us, they shut down the highway.
What?
Yeah. They said there was an incident. That's all they told me.
What do you think?
I'm doing this research and making myself go crazy in this video. I've come to the realization that stuff is interconnected. Those who are prideful, or those who feel like the homeless don't deserve that, are hindering us from giving people houses. But they're also the same people that bitch about people being in the streets.
I can't even tell. Oh, it's playing.
Spooky wookie.
Oh, this is bad.
Continue onto Austin Street.
And I mean, I know that because I've moved so many times.
Yeah. But it's
like,
true though. Vlog number 30,005. We're gonna skate around Austin. Title card. connected. It's not just the house, but it's also medical costs. There are people who need mental health who can't afford it, even on Medicare, even on Access. Shit, I don't even think Access covers a multitude of things that they may need. And that's a big factor of being on the street, is a lot of them have mental illnesses. Some of them don't have a backup and a family unit to help them. It's not a perfect system, but our system right now is very lackluster to have people just go to a homeless shelter that, you know, for those who don't know, homeless shelters don't work every time. Homeless shelters also have filled, caps that are reached many of times. What do you do? Well, you got to make a single payer system. We have to improve our healthcare system by having a expansion on Medicare, having an expansion on Access, throwing more investments, because that's mental health. But then that blocks us because many of people don't feel like they want to pitch in a single payer system. That I earned this medical cost, and I realized how many topics I started running into that were being held back by other topics. The homeless crisis is because of giving people houses and mental care, but also just all around living wages. A lot of people are the working poor. You can see it here. They just can't afford living in a place. So, okay, now we have to deal with the living cost of X, Y, and Z place. It's not just one thing. There's not just one solution. And unfortunately, many of those factors are held back by other factors. To show her these lights. This is Arizona, by the way. We made it. And that's why this video has been making me go crazy. We can't just improve living wage in a day, because then it's being held back of one thing. And then we can't do we can't just give better, health care because it's being held back by the single payer debate and by lobbyists and pharmaceuticals. And then we can't have people houses because it's just not worth, they didn't earn it. And every fucking topic is like this. I had to look into why many vets are homeless. And started looking into, why do we even have to pay for college? And I realized that a lot of college expensiveness comes from, and lobbyists that are for college being so pricey, is the military. The military profits off of those who want education but can't afford it, so they send them to the military so they can get an education. But then those same people are suffering from PTSD, so they end up on the street. where do we even start? Where do I even begin? I was going crazy. I started thinking and figuring out all these things that were connected and weren't connected. And if it wasn't one topic, it was another. I remember being like, you know what, I'm just going to scrap the video. I'm going to do a video about the industrial military complex. Oh, you know what, I'm going to do a video about money in politics. And they all just started bleeding into each other. Imagine going to any politician right now. Most politicians center in the middle, right-leaning, some left-leaning, but these ideas that I've been proposing are super left-wing relative to other countries. And these are like socialist, communistic ideas that I'm pushing through. And not one politician is even near that. In our active Senate, in our active Congress, and our presidency, the history of our politicians have been very middle. They're not radical, is the point. Most Americans, I think, fall to that. So imagine saying we need to give every single homeless person a house. It's not going to go through. Imagine saying, well, we should give at least them the medical care. Let's have some sort of single payer system. That's not a fix. It's not going to help at all, but it's going to reduce a lot of people who don't have that, who then are not held back by their mental illnesses, who can then work and sustain themselves. Two solutions in this world, and yet we just throw, here's a homeless shelter. And even that, I feel like we don't do. I feel like we take away homeless shelters because we have this idea that it probably breeds grounds of more homeless people. I don't know. There's this idea that these incentivize people to stay poor, stay homeless. When in reality, it's a system. You look at some of the stuff that I propose, these solutions, and some of the information that I've just brought backing up why these things sustain themselves and why they're good, but you don't make a profit off of this. These homeless people, you give them a home, they're going to just be a lower income family. They're not Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates. No, they don't give a fuck about these people. Even though in the long run, in the long term, single payer healthcare systems could save us money rather than having people rely on access because they can't afford it. We can have a all-around system where we all pitch in and help each other. That's very communist. It's very radical. It's very utopia. So it's been driving me crazy. You know, the vets. You think vets would be an incentive to get people. But it wasn't. You think this whole, winter break, I had all these different ideas. I think I was just kind of being beaten up and down and sad, but I started seeing more that there are solutions, yet no one's proposing these. You ask the Republican Party what their platforms are, and it's that cancel culture, the factors of economic relief to poor people has beneficial attributes. You have to argue against a Senate filled with people who are against that, a Congress filled with people who are against that, and then people who are against that. You go to a rural Michigan and they're not going to take kindly to that. They believe they've worked for that. They believe they've gained all their assets because of what they've done, and I'm sure they have. But for those who haven't, we can't sit there and go, I'm better than you. We're not. We're lucky. You have your legs and arms. You have a mental mind, and you have a family union. Not all. There's someone out there who was able to do it, who was not able-bodied, who was not with the perfect family unit. But then you look at those who have that, and they do greater. And so I'm just trying to be that extra safety net. I'm trying to help them out in the long run. My proposition is not perfect, but it's something, because the opposition believes it should be nothing. And that's what drives me crazy, because it's been nothing and it hasn't worked. You propose taxing people at the highest level of our society, the echelons, the bourgeois. That's not going to build right. To the rich, you think? No. There are poor people who believe that taxing rich people more would be detrimental to our society. There'd be no rich people. We'd be pushing away businesses. In reality, it's just a tried and true argument that's not tried. It's not tried and true, but we believed it as such. Every connected topic that I was writing about, I was going crazy because I just kept thinking of this overlooming issue of our current officials don't relate to us. They have the gold star package of medical care. They have the gold star package of living wages. They are protected in every field, and they're probably knowing inside trader knowledge that we, the regular people, don't, to go spend in the Wall Streets. Whereas you need someone more in the welfare system to understand our society than some rich asshole named Trump or Biden. But we don't have that. So that's issue one. Issue two is getting the knowledge out there to people who they believe they've earned it, and I'm sure they have, but it's a very philosophical question to ask yourself, to say, did I really earn this? I remember looking out in that damn desert and just seeing nothing and nothing. And so I had a lot of time to think, and I got moral question to myself. I said, did I earn any of this? Did I make any of this? If I didn't have my parental units, would I have been so lucky? I don't think so. Not to say I'm not the heart of a fighter and drop my heart and mindset down to I'm nothing without them, but I'm pretty much nothing without them. And I think we all are. We're very lucky to have what we have if we're making it. Hey, Desiree.
That scared me.
I like how
Mine.
Come on down.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
It was extremely expensive to utilize it, so they went to a different method.
That got me. He'll be your Pringle.
That's your name on there. That's great.
I want to throw it. See the footage? So we're here in Bisbee, and we're going to try to buy every olive oil we can find. Thank you guys for coming.
It's my boy, my son. I'm so
that like gold glass bottle.
Here, you're allowed to ride an elevator and see where that takes us. So let's hop on in.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
I tell the audience, I'm like, man, you guys should have seen this. You should look crazy.
We did that thing. You should have been there.
You guys should have been there.
Because it's still lined with plastic.
Yeah.
Is it? It's supposed to.
Gotta smell that real quick. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, hi. Oh, you want to see my French? Come on. You want to see my French? Hey guys, look at this. Guys. What happened? He has one green and one blue eye.
You lead the way, if you want. So baby. We love you. Thank you for loving us. Oh my god. Oh,
Okay.
you know your way through.
Goodbye. Au revoir.
Thanks for being a part of our life. I didn't know you spoke the language.
Yeah, I took a few classes.
I hope that it's just so crowded that they just like, if I were to do it, they just push me up.
I have another one like this.
Isn't that crazy?
That's really cool. I like how this whole table.
Moon.
Gorgeous.
You're gorgeous.
No. With the lights, oh, and the business.
Isn't this so cute?
Over here. Over here.
I think this video has been bringing me down, and I've been avoiding making it. It's been making me go crazy, but ultimately I wanted to make something positive. Like, you have people like me and you who are trying to better this world. Why do I have to be so doomer? And I guess that's one of my more final points, is I don't want to be negative. I think there's a positive future out there. I think there's a better world out there with people like us that want to help people. If you ask me, you know, if I was a politician, what are you trying to do? I'd give you my top 3 policies. I'd make a single payer system. I would push for a top marginal tax rate. And then I would push for a better infrastructure regarding our transit system, and our, you know, homeless people should have somewhere they can go with ease. At the very least, at the very best, they get a house. If you ask any of these slime balls in our Congress right now, they probably would tell you something about, I don't know, PC culture. It's Dr. Seuss. So I'm hoping those people are pushed out, and we push in some more thought-provoking minds, more heart-filled minds. Because at the end of the day, I started thinking about this topic and the conversations I had with the people who were so rancid with it all. And I just thought, like, morally, we've lost you. And I hope not. I hope we can keep you a good moral person. But the thinking about this argument made me kind of lose that hope for people, because if you're so against people just having a roof over their head and being warm, just being warm. I just want someone to be warm and comfy and not worry about an animal killing them. I thought we've moved past that as society, but I guess not. To some. But I think to most people, if there was a magic wand and they can give everyone a house, they would. I think they just think the logistics don't work. And that's fine, because I can educate that. But if you are morally bankrupt and you believe that they don't deserve that because you worked hard for yours, then you are the reason why people will continue to be homeless. Because nobody wants to be in that. And I know you worked hard for your shit. We all do, though. You give a man true adversity, and he will get through. You give them power. That's the real test. It's an old saying. You give people the power, and that's when we judge people. And right now, we have the power. Anybody can make through adversity. And I say anybody loosely, but that's the saying, is that if you're given struggle, humans are built on struggle. We're meant to push through and survive. And Darwinism, baby, come on. But you give a person power, which you and I have. We have an able body, a voice, a privilege to have internet and a camera, or a response to this video. We got power and privilege. Yeah. So I guess the last note is don't be so negative. I think we can push through. As crazy it is and how connected it is, I think if it works the other way, if we fix one, we can probably fix the other. You see the snow?
Yeah.
You're gonna go make a snowman right now. No, but go make a snowman right now, Nana.
You are?
No, you go make one.
Oh. No, you know I mean just fall down there with my mouth.
Also, I gotta send you pictures because Chloe's all white. She's covered in snow. Yeah, we took pictures and Chloe, she's all filled with white. She doesn't even look dark anymore because she's all covered in snow. Yeah, me and Chris and Alyssa are out here, but Angel's at work, I think.
Angel's working?
Yeah.
Yeah.